Hey, everybody, it's Money Matters. So, hey, are you a business owner that, maybe you're like kind of worrying about debt? You know how debt is? It's kind of like that clingy old ex, right? Well, I'm telling you, today on Money Matters, we're going to show you how to ghost that debt ex and start dating some profits. So, because isn't that better? I think so. What do you think, Marshall?
That's a pretty interesting intro. You caught me off guard there.
I
Caught me off
did.
guard. Yeah, I love
What
it.
do you suppose that is?
Well, a lot of the fundamentals of running a business are similar to personal. And yeah, staying out of debt's a big part of that. But also, there's a lot of other things to it. And so we were planning to do this topic about working with business owners because we do work with a lot of business owners here at Clarion Advisors, right? We have retirement plans, 401k plans, simple IRA plans, all kinds of stuff for business owners. And I love working with business owners because, it's the challenges of finding clients, growing your business, hiring employees. There's just so much to it.
There is.
So I have a heart for business owners. And so, so I'm a business owner, right? You're a business owner, right?
I am. That's why I was excited we were talking about this today. Woo!
So over the years, you always try to find a reference point, somebody to help you understand what to do, right? Yeah. And so a number of years ago, there's a book that came out called EntreLeadership. And it's really about, managing a business and the fundamentals of that. And if you guys know me, as a lot of my clients do, this book was written by a guy named Dave Ramsey. Right, he's famous for, the baby steps and getting out of debt, having a budget and all of that. But he's also run part of his company for business owners and through a program called EntreLeadership. And so as a financial advisor, I'm a part of that program. I'm a member of EntreLeadership. And so every month I meet with other financial advisors and we talk about running our business, the business of managing a financial service company. And so the book EntreLeadership has a lot of great stuff to help business owners. And so that's kind of, why I wanted to talk about this today. There it is, EntreLeadership. Yeah. So it's a very popular book. There's actually a conference that they do every year.
Oh, and really?
So there's some great points in the book. And so I just wanted to talk that through. And you started out by talking about debt. So debt, there's, I always think about good debt and bad debt. Now in Dave Ramsey's world, all debt is bad debt, right? So I'm going off script here a little bit. So pull me in if I get too crazy, right?
You never know about you, Marshall. I don't even know how to discern that if you're getting too crazy because,
good debt versus bad debt.
Sometimes.
So in Dave's world, he talks about growing at the speed of cash, which is very wide, right? Growing as your company can finance. But honestly, to be honest about my history, there was a point where I used seller financing to buy a couple practices.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, but I think that our viewers and listeners are probably going to be super interested in that because it's amazing what you've done.
Well, so that is quote debt, but we're paying it out of cash flow, right?
Sure.
And so what was interesting about that, and there's a lot of people out in the world right now that are talking about doing this. There's a girl named Cody Sanchez. She's got a huge following on social media that helps people. This idea of buying an existing business and financing it through seller financing.
Right.
There's also other people that are doing this. Alex Hermosi. Do you know that name? Have you seen Alex on the internet?
I don't know Alex Hermosi.
Yeah, and he's got a book too about growing your business and buying other businesses. And so we did this. I did this at Clarion Advisors a number of years ago. And so there was the debt was carried by the seller, and so the idea was to put a small down payment down, 10 to 15%, and then out of cash flow pay the remaining 90% to the seller over the next 3 to 5 years, right?
Okay, got it.
So good debt versus bad debt. Bad debt is consumer debt, assets, right? We've talked a lot about assets.
Oh, yeah.
Assets that are going to lose value over time, or things that you buy that are going to lose value over time.
Absolutely.
What you want to do is buy something that's going to grow in value over time.
Right.
Right. And so in the case of buying business assets, I have in the past used a little debt. Right. So confession time. Is this a confession?
True confessions. This is going to get juicy. Woo! All right.
So
I'm digging in. Okay.
So you have to be careful. You have to be careful with that. But in my case, it's turned out fine. So that was the first thing that's a little controversial about this, and a little, not in complete alignment with Dave Ramsey. The second thing that I completely agree with that he talks about is separating your personal finances from your business finance. Have separate credit,
Okay, yes,
separate
definitely.
checking accounts and stuff like that.
Oh,
I just,
absolutely. I mean,
I just,
for just temptation alone, let alone commingling. I mean, commingling you do not want, but the temptation. If it looks like you've got
Mhm.
revenue coming in, it looks like profits potentially. It might not be profits, and
Okay.
the temptation to spend that. Oh, that
Right.
could be a
That's
bad
right.
thing.
And so I met a young couple just a week or so ago, and their business is doing well, but they still have all their personal and business things. So I would ask them, what's your monthly expenses for your personal? And they had a
Mhm.
hard time coming up with that. What is your budget? How much do you need each month for the business to survive?
Yeah.
Right. And so keeping those separate. And so if you have a CPA or a tax person, they are going to want you to separate these things, because if you're ever
Yes.
audited by the IRS, you're going to have a problem if you haven't
Mhm.
separated these things. Right.
Tell me about it.
So
I mean, I
that's
haven't been audited, and let's hope that never happens. But I have to separate my businesses out when it comes to tax time. I have to always go in, and I have to have them each one
right.
separated. And
Yep.
it can be it's a little cumbersome at times, but I've learned some really great organizational skills to utilize over the years so that it's not
Yep.
such a headache at tax
Yeah,
time.
and the key is organization, right? Keeping
Mhm,
keeping
mhm.
it organized. The third, if you want to throw that bullets up there, the third item is to know your numbers. Okay,
Okay,
and
yeah.
so what that means, and it happens at the personal level, but it also happens at the business level. One of the questions I always ask people, what are your monthly expenses? How much do you need monthly to
Right.
survive? What are your monthly expenses? And so somebody that knows their numbers will give you the number, $5,000, right? If they don't know the numbers, they'll go, well, mortgage is this much and
Mhm.
taxes this, and we spend this. And I'm like, I don't want to know that. What's the number? What's the big number? Right. And it's the same for a business owner. How
Mhm.
much income does the business need to pay the employees, to pay the rent, to pay everything else each month? What is the number?
Yeah.
Right. And so,
Right.
so that's what this guidance is about. Know your number.
Know your
Right.
numbers, people. Know your
So,
numbers.
yeah.
Try and
Yeah.
stay below your numbers.
Stay below the numbers and keep that in mind. The fourth bullet here is budget and plan for taxes. Now,
Uh-oh.
um,
Uh-oh.
good advice there. Do you have a story about taxes?
I
Do you
just saw the B word.
like the B word?
Yeah, budget. Remember, that's the B word.
I know
So
people don't
it's
like
such a
that.
negative word. But you know what, Marshall? For when it comes to a budget, all that means, I mean, for your business, having a budget, that's just what you need in order to not go out and buy stupid stuff, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just gotta have a
exactly.
plan. So
Yeah, and
that's
there's
important.
there's tons of tools to do that online. But I'll tell you what
Right.
I do. I keep spreadsheets.
Oh yeah.
As you right. And so every month,
Oh, that.
I will save a new spreadsheet, and it has all my numbers in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it has income at the top, expenses in the middle, and I can tell what my profit is at the bottom.
Nice.
Right? So, you got payroll taxes, you got
Sure.
all this stuff, you got
All the
rents, you
stuff.
got
All the stuff.
software, and so I just use this, and so it's a spreadsheet, so it's not completely 100% accurate, but it gives me a ballpark of where I should be at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Right. And
Right.
what is Ramsey always says, you too much month at the end of the money. Is that what he says? You run out of money at the end of the month,
Too much
right?
month at the end of the money. Yes. Yeah,
Right.
right.
And so
Mhm.
the budget, and then the idea of paying your quarterly taxes as a business owner, paying your
Yes.
taxes and not let it get out of control.
Yes.
Important
Or have a
items.
plan for that you don't touch that money.
Yeah.
So there's different
Yeah.
ways to do that. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
And
people
so
do the quarterlies because they know themselves and they know that they may not be as disciplined to
right.
overspend that by the time taxes come around. So
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So
if that's you, do your quarterlies. It
yeah.
helps.
So these 8 items here are actually
Mhm.
from the Entree Leadership book, and so I just wanted to
Yeah.
talk through these together. And this fifth one, I like: avoid the tax write-off trap. Right. So as a business owner, the way it works is you have income, you pay your expenses, and you pay taxes on what's left. Right.
Mhm.
And so what business owners will do, they will buy a bunch of stuff in expenses to save on the taxes at the end. Right.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so they might just buy stuff that doesn't grow in value over time. And so you want to avoid the trap of,
Yeah.
spending $10,000 to get a $2,500 tax write-off.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
so you have to be very careful about that. Now, there's lots of interesting things to do, in the company, is using some of that money to buy assets or buy
Mhm.
stuff that's going to grow the business, like marketing, advertising, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so just make sure you don't fall into that trap of saying, oh, it's a tax write-off, and the value is just falling off the page. You're not getting any value for the company
Exactly.
to do that. So that's an important point that they talk about. Number 6 is emergency fund. Build a cash reserve. And so, if you look at the personal level, as a financial advisor, we advise people to have 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash.
Yep.
So it's back to that number. What's your number? What is your monthly expense, right? And so imagine, at a personal level, you have a cash, but at a business, imagine you have 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That gives you strength.
Sorry, I'm just stuck on the number thing. It made me go back to thinking about dating again, about, asking somebody what their number is, but that's a whole different number. So I digress.
That's your
cash reserves.
You're scarred. You need to talk to your therapist about that one. That's something else.
I would have to budget for that therapist. I'd have to create a new budget for that.
Nobody knows phone numbers anymore. You know that, right?
I know. I do.
You?
I do.
I bet you remember your phone number from when you were a kid.
I do.
Yeah.
And my address. But don't ask me what I had for lunch yesterday. And I have no idea where I put my car keys. I've been stuck at my home office for 5 months because I can't find my car keys. No, I'm just kidding.
So, yeah. So, yeah, the smartphone is not making us smarter, right? We can't remember phone numbers for people if you lose that phone. But anyway, cash reserve is important. And then, another thing is giving from the business, giving to charities and organizations directly from the business and not just personally. That's a cool thing to do. Right. And then last but not least, this is where we at Clarion Advisor get involved, right? Helping build a retirement plan for your company. Exactly. Right. And so this is an important step for companies as they become successful in offering different things. And so, traditionally, the most well-known retirement plan is a 401k. And so yes, that's a great option, but those are complicated. Right. And they're expensive to run. And so what I do when I sit down with business owners, they want to create a financial retirement plan for their company, is figuring out what's the right plan, because there's other options than a 401k. Sure. Did you realize that?
Oh, yes. Yes, I know that. I do. But some people don't. So, and that's okay. That's what you're for. Because you know all those different options. And I don't know all the options. I just know that there's other options. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that when they're starting their businesses, that these are all really important areas to be considering.
Right.
And I mean, especially you want to make sure you have a retirement plan for your company. That's huge.
Yeah,
huge.
It is. It's good for you as the owner. It's also good for your employees. It's good for incentives and stuff like that. And so, a lot of times, business owners don't connect the dots. A lot of times when you sit down with your CPA at the end of the year and you're doing your taxes, they're showing you what your taxable income is. They're talking about tax rates. And they say, hey, if you deferred this much, if you were able to put this into some other account, it would reduce your taxable income. And so that's where we get involved. So there's this kind of triangle that happens between the business owner, their CPA, and us as their advisor. Right. Yeah. And so that's where a lot of our businesses
of wealth.
From. Yeah.
It's the trifecta of wealth. There you go. Exactly. Hey, I think I just coined something. There you go. That'll be our new catchphrase.
Trifecta of wealth. I like it. I like it. So that synergy, there's another weird word, synergy, that trifecta is going to help you save taxes and put money away. And so we love to do that. Love to do that for folks. So yeah, if you guys are curious about doing this, let us know. We love to work on this with folks, help them get a plan in place. And it's amazing how these accounts can grow if you get the right plan, and how you can start deferring money into these accounts.
Yep, absolutely. So those of you watching, if you want to level up as a business owner, or you're thinking about buying a business, you need to rewatch this again and share it with a friend, because he's got so many great tips and more for you. So I really highly encourage people sign up for a free consultation with you today, Marshall.
For sure. Well, good to see you again. Thanks for hosting. I appreciate it.
You bet. And thanks so much, everyone, for watching. And remember, success is not borrowing, it's what you keep. So keep more of those profits in your pocket and stop spending on stuff you don't need. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.